So first of all, what is true is that whenever you're negotiating a trade deal, and this is true for any trade agreement, if you're negotiating with 12 countries, and if there's not some space for the negotiators to basically agree on the deal, but the whole time everybody's commenting on every aspect of it, then it would never get done. Right? In the United States, if basically every chapter was subject to various interest groups asking, well, we want more of this or we want more of that, and the business community saying, we want this, and the labor union saying, we want that. Just in the United States, we could never get it done. And then when you try to get 12 countries together, and everybody was in on every aspect of the negotiation, it would never be finished. Because people would always ask for more. And I'm not just talking, the pharmaceutical companies would want more, the agriculture sector would want more, everybody would want something. Because the nature of the trade agreement is that there's so many interests involved, right? So what we've done instead is, you close the initial deal, right? Now, it's subject to review. It's up on the website. You can go and read every chapter, and people can, each country then has to ratify it, and it's subject to the approval of the legislatures or the parliaments or whatever form of government in approving or disapproving it. I've still got to get it passed in Congress. And members of Congress are going to read every line, and there are going to be some people who think it's a good deal and some people who think it's a bad deal. And I believe that it's a good deal and we'll get it done. But there's no guarantee. So the point is that it's inaccurate to think that transparency means that you and everybody else are all in a room together, negotiating the entire time in an open environment, because it would never get completed. Partly because each country has to give up something in order to get a trade deal done. For example, we have to open up some markets to goods that previously were subject to tariffs. And somebody in our country is not going to like that. But our view is overall, that's good. That may be helpful to Malaysia. And in turn, we will be able to sell something in Malaysia. Somebody in Malaysia won't like that. Right? So that's the nature of negotiations in a trade deal. Now, with respect to some of the specific things that you said, I actually think it's inaccurate. So let's take the example of pharmaceuticals. No, I'm just going to give you an example. This is an area where people actually have expressed concerns because the U.S. pharmaceutical industry is the most prominent in the world. We do a lot of the research and development that invent many of the new drugs. And what is absolutely true is that a lot of the drug companies, once they invent a drug, they want to keep making money as long as possible on that drug. And sometimes they want to keep making money on that drug, even though they invented it a long time ago. They want to preserve their rights, exclusive rights to make it, and they keep selling it at a higher and higher price, and they don't want generic substitutes that are lower cost. Right? So, what we did in this deal was we said that we should provide some protections for some drugs, because if you don't provide some intellectual property protection, then nobody's going to invent a new drug, because the minute they did, then there'd be a generic that was produced right away, and there'd be no point in inventing it because you wouldn't make any money. Right? The same way that if you are a singer, you make a record, but the minute you record the record, people can just download it without paying. At a certain point, that's going to hurt the music industry. Right? So we said we have to protect some, but we're very explicit in the chapter on this to say that we have to protect generics for low-income persons, for hand, we need to eliminate tariffs on some things like penicillin and basic drugs that have been on the market for a very long time. And over time, we actually believe that the costs of drugs are going to go down in many countries that currently have a lot of barriers in terms of those drugs. Now, and here's proof that this wasn't just some giveaway to the drug companies. Right now, a lot of the drug companies in the United States are mad at me because they said, how come we didn't get more protection? And what I said to them as well, part of our job is to promote the U.S. drug industry, but part of our job is also to be good partners with countries that have people who are sick, and we've got to make sure that they also are able to get access to drugs. So the point is, the point I'm making, though, generally, is that in this new global environment, it's what I said earlier, things are changing all the time. And part of my principles and my values is that we have to make sure that the change is good for ordinary people,